Hey everyone, this is Miss Time Bunny and, oh, excuse my finger. I've basically just been walking home from a shift today and I've just found this cemetery on the way back to Southampton Central train station. It's like an old historic cemetery, so let's go and have a shifty. No, I didn't even actually realise this was here, but apparently it's quite an old historic graveyard. How old exactly, I honestly have no idea, but going by the state of the headstones and such, I imagine it's been here quite a while. Like, for example, there's one over there of someone who passed away in 1873 at the age of 27. So I'd imagine it's been here for quite some time. And there's obviously some that are completely faded, you can barely read them. There's one there, I think it's someone who passed away in 1880. Also looks like it was a little kiddie by the looks of it, aged 3 years. Oh, poor little bugger. So yeah, it looks like it is quite a very, very old cemetery by the looks of it. Yeah, this is a bit of an impromptu video, I must admit. Because, as I said just a moment ago, I've just been walking back from Southampton General to Southampton Central train station, and I just happened to notice this place on the way back, so I thought we could have a little wander around quickly and just see what's what. Right, I'm just going to turn back around now. As you can see, it looks like it's absolutely massive, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk around the whole thing. As you can see, it's just, well, just see it's such a, it just looks like, I don't know if you can see it through the trees there, but it looks like it goes on quite a way back there. I mean, if anyone does know anything about this place, by all means do comment and such. It'd be lovely to know if anyone does know anything about this place. I just thought it'd be nice to maybe do a quick walk about and explore video whilst I was passing. Right, looks like it still goes on quite a way that way, so we'll go down here and have a quick shifty. I do like some of these headstones, they're quite lovely, they are. There's quite a few headstones that look like they're buried all in the greenery there. There's some there that obviously have crumbled over time by the looks of it, but yeah, you can see there's quite a lot sort of like kind of buried under all the plants where it's got overgrown over the years. I'm guessing by the condition of the place it's probably not really used anymore. It's more just for the sort of like historical reasons, so to speak. But yeah, just this place does look like it goes on for days, as it were. Looks like there's some more headstones through those trees over there. Just about to say, it doesn't look like there's any more on that side, but it looks like there's more through the trees. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of them have got overgrown with ivy here. So I don't know if they've maybe tried to sort of like keep all the plants and vegetation back at some point, going on by the fact that some of it's more overgrown than other parts. Yeah. more over here. I'm guessing it does go on quite a fair way by the looks of it. It looks like a lot of these headstones are dating back to at least the 1800s. So it's a pretty old place, I'd imagine. As you can see, there's a lot more sort of like headstones that are overgrown here. This one quite overgrown there. Although by the looks of it, I've just walked past one here. There was one I think dated 1878, the person died. Ah, it looks like there's one just here. I think dated, they passed away 1857. So I think that's probably given you an idea of just how old this place is. But it does just look absolutely massive. Looks like there's I'm guessing like a chapel of some kind. Although this side looks a bit more, they're sort of like they've kept up the maintenance a bit better, so I don't know if maybe they've sort of like been slowly working through trying to clean it all up, because I can see there's a worker just over there, looks like with a spade and broom, so I don't know if it's a case of they've been slowly working their way around cleaning it up. Maybe, I have no idea, because this side looks a heck of a lot cleaner compared to over the other side. Looks like there's some sort of entrance there. I'll go and have a look at the signage that's just up here that I've just seen. So it looks like the cemetery was opened May 1846, so it's very, very old. So yeah, it looks like it just looks like it's basically like a very old place. There's a lot of people, I think, buried here, I'm guessing from various wars and that. There's also some memorials placed around the cemetery for the people who died in the sinking of the Titanic as well. And they're saying there's roughly this many burials and memorials and headstones here. But yeah, by all means, like, if anyone wants to sort of like Google about this old cemetery and find out a bit more info, that's what it's called. And there's a few sort of rough details if you want to just make sure that you've got the right one, as it were. So yeah, very old place by the sounds of this. That's a sign of like the old Royal British Legion little memorial there. I know this is going to probably make me sound a bit bizarre, but I quite like walking around sort of like old sites like this and just learning a bit of history. Oh, sorry about the glare of the sun, but there we go. There's another shot of the part of the chapel. I don't want to move around too far because then you get the glare of the sun. There you go. Quite a pretty building. But yeah, I just find old sites like this like really interesting. So you can sort of like learn, I suppose you can learn a bit of history and appreciate that just as recent as only say like 100 years ago, living to like your 20s and 30s was probably considered like old age, you know, whereas now people live well into their hundreds, you know, and that's considered old. So these people obviously died like the early 1900s there, which when you think about it, it's like, again, only about 100 years old, like 100 or so years ago. Mind you, there's someone there that passed away in 1900 at the age of 73, which I imagine was probably like, that was probably considered like massively ancient back then. Whereas I said, like, as I said just a minute ago, now people live into their hundreds and no one really sort of bats an eyelid. It's kind of mad really when you think of it like that. There's a few sort of, like, graves and such along here, kind of disappearing off into the bushes and that. Yes, I don't know if maybe they're slowly working their way over and cutting all the vegetation back, because as we saw in a video just a moment ago, there was one side of the cemetery seems to be clear, whereas this side seems to be getting overgrown. So I don't know if it was just because of like the crap weather during the winter and that they didn't get a chance to get in here and cut everything back. Yeah, it's a lovely old place though. Oh, wee dog. So there's something that's broken open there. But I'd imagine that probably there's probably like nothing left in there now. But I'm not going to risk sticking my face in there just in case. So that'd be knowing my luck, someone could jump up and grab me. But yeah, there's more sort of like gravestones like crumbling down there. See, there's quite a lot of like headstones buried in all this lot. But yeah, I hope they do get round to cutting a lot of this back, because it looks like there are like headstones and that still all buried in this lot. So it might be nice to come back maybe at some point and have another look around. I wouldn't be surprised if there's probably more headstones disappearing all in that lot. I think there's one just by the tree there. Right, I think this path's taking me back round to near enough where I was now. Nice pretty flowers there. See, there's a part of me that said like, oh, it'd be nice if they cut this all back, but then I see like nice little plants like that with a pretty blue, and I think, actually, nah, can you leave this bit? So they're pretty. There's like the odd like bluebells just hiding in there. Well, that headstone looks like it's come over. That looks like it's a fairly clean one. I can only assume that possibly there's people that still look after this one. Oh, looks like there was actually a burial in this one fairly recently. Someone in 1994, and then a couple of people in the 70s by the looks of it. I was just about to say, this one looks very clean. It looks like they keep this one, the upkeep of this one as good as they can, but it looks like it's because people have sort of fairly recently been interned in this one. So that's probably why it looks pretty decent compared to the others. So obviously people that still look after that one. It looks like this is obviously some sort of like plot memorial for some people who sort of family members that passed away in action, as it were, in the various wars. Again, looks like this one's kept relatively okay, so I don't know if there's perhaps people still looking after that one. Wow, that's a bit different. So that's just the headstone on that one caught my eye. Louisa Fanny, I can't quite sort of see the name. I think it's Algio, I think. I can't quite see the surname on that one. So obviously I think she sort of passed away somewhere abroad in 1880 and then her remains were interned here. So it's just the shape of the headstone caught my eye on that one. Some interesting ones at the back there. There's a lot that have again crumbled away over time. It looks like I've near enough walked back to the beginning by the looks of it. There's a fairly recent one there. Yeah, I think there's just tons in, a few more in there that are all buried now. But we're gonna, yeah, I think I have near enough walked back round to where I turned off now. I do believe this is where I turned off a little while ago, it was just there. Although I didn't take any notice of this one on the first trip round. It's an interesting one. Looks like another one's disappeared off into the ground there. So it looks like parts of this cemetery are possibly a bit more well maintained than others. But we shall take a wander back up to the gate now, because I've noticed this video has been running for nearly 20 minutes. Now, this is probably a bit of a weird random video, but I thought this might be interesting to have a wander around what is obviously a very old cemetery. I'll have to work out roughly how old this cemetery is, but it must be a good, probably like getting on for 120, no, it'd be longer than that, I suppose. 1847 to 1947, that's 100. Yeah, so I'm guessing it's probably getting on for a good 120, 130 years old, I'd imagine. Probably roughly working it out off the top of my head. If I've figured that out quickly off the top of my head, please do correct me if I have worked that out wrong. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me on this random walk around the old cemetery. I hope you liked it. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye.